Don't forget the doc. Several network participants recently called into Dr. Rick Wright's Old School Sundays radio show. Check this out.
Well, let's run up to Boston, Massachusetts, where they're listening to the big bad Old School Sunday radio show with Dr. Rick Wright. Up where legal seafood, Quincy Market, Cambridge, MIT, Harvard Square. And John Kellogg, what is that, the Berkeley School of Music, man?
Yes, sir. How are you, Dr. Wright? You sounded good today.
Hey, man, how's the clam chowder doing up in Boston land, man?
It's delicious, and I need plenty of it today because it's cold here.
Oh, so it's kind of cold in Boston, huh?
Yeah, it's cold.
Man, I'm telling you, I love Boston, man. I went down to Quincy Market one time, hungry.
Yes, yes.
I mean, I made the big mistake of going into Quincy Market for the first time hungry, man, and I've never seen so many different kinds of food in my life. And
yeah, you've got about a half mile of various restaurants up and down there.
Oh, man, it was incredible, man. And I finally broke down and got some food, and then I walked 5 more feet, and what I wanted to order was waiting for me with a full stomach.
That's right. You don't have to walk far there to get what you want.
Oh, but that's another story, John Kellogg. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce at this time the world's greatest music attorney. Mr. John Kellogg, a graduate of Syracuse University years ago, formerly of a group called New Decade in Syracuse back in the 1970s. Got rich with a group called Cameo. Got a law degree, Esquire behind his name, and now he is I like to call him the assistant dean of the Berkeley School of Music, Boston, Massachusetts, and he's going to talk about how I can get rich, not me. You can get rich in the music industry.
All right, Dr. Wright. Hello, Power 106.9 listeners. John Kellogg here with The Biz, a report on the business behind the music because everybody knows somebody in the music business. Dr. Wright, last time we spoke, I was out in L.A. for the Grammys, and, that was just before the Grammy show started, so I didn't know exactly how the results were going to come out. But I just want to let you know that Gerald Levert did win his very first Grammy. He won for the traditional R&B male vocal performance for his song, In My Song. So
okay.
We're very, very happy for he and his family. And the other surprise at the Grammys, of course, was Herbie Hancock winning for Album of the Year. His album, The River.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it won over Kanye West's album, and that was one of the big surprises at the Grammy. And it was a great, great show, a great, great time there. But I want to talk about the Urban Network. I mentioned to you when I was last time we spoke that they had a 20th anniversary party out in L.A. During Grammy Week. But the Urban Network also has something else happening. I'm sure you're familiar with the Urban Network, Dr. Wright.
Yes.
That's right. It's a trade publication servicing urban radio, music retail, and record companies. And it's also expanded its brand both as a print magazine and integrated website. And Miller London and David Mitchell, the two heads of that magazine, have done just an excellent job in keeping that around for over 20 years, servicing the urban market. And I want to announce that they are going to have their 18th annual Urban Network Entertainment and Marketing Summit, March 26th through 29th, out in Newport Beach, California, at the Hyatt Regency there. And if there's anybody in the area or if anybody wants to go to that conference, I'd urge them to go because they're going to have a fantastic event over that weekend. On Saturday evening, they're going to honor the dynamic duos of music. And the dynamic duos of music they're going to honor are Gamble and Huff, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and Brian and Eddie Holland. That's going to be a great event on Saturday evening. And on Saturday afternoon, the Recording Academy, and that's the organization that puts on the Grammy Awards, is going to host a 1-hour solo session with Jimmy Jam. And on Friday, the 28th, Starbucks Entertainment President Ken Lombard will be making the summit's mini keynote address. So if there's anybody in that area or if you have the desire to go out, it's going to be a worthwhile event. I highly recommend it. If you're interested in the music business, that's going to be the place to be over the weekend of the 26th through the 29th. David Mitchell and Miller London, hats off to you, brothers. You've done a great job. All right, this is John Kellogg with The Biz, reminding you every time the music gets played, somebody gets paid.
Paid.
That's right. And if you're a songwriter, artist, or producer, you should get paid, not played.
Oh, John Kellogg. Hey, John,
yes.
Before I let you go, today is a real historical day in African-American music. And There's a group called the Chicago Musical Association, one of the very first associations of African-American musicians that was set up in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
And today, the 9th of March in the year 1919, Nora Douglas Hope and other African-American Chicago musicians, they got together and formed the Chicago Musical Association. One of the first times we got together to make sure that we did not get played and that we could get paid.
That's very important. You know, people don't understand how the unions, and even ASCAP and BMI way back in the day didn't even admit, well, at least ASCAP, they didn't admit black members.
Oh, they did.
And you know, unions didn't as well. So that is really, really a very important African-American history point. And I'm glad you're making that, and I'm glad to hear you say that, Dr. Wright.
Okay, well, we try to keep people informed, entertained, and educated here on Old School Sunday. And by having you, John Kellogg, and all of our great participants, we are having a ball, putting together a fantastic radio show. Well, look, right. John Kellogg, I'll be talking to you later, right. That is. So you take care of that in Boston, Massachusetts, man, and don't you hurt nobody, as Butch Charles would say, all right?
Oh, won't do that, man. Peace.
Peace, love, and salt.
The network reminds you that you too may call in to Dr. Rick Wright on Sundays between 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check in with the doc at area code 315-428-1069. Don't forget the doc.